Okay, good morning, students. This is Spanish 2-3, and welcome. I already introduced myself to the kids at home. I'm Mrs. Daniel, and I'm going to be here through the end of the year. And as you heard, your teacher had her little one, a boy, 8 pounds.
My mom texted her, and I'm like, oh, he's so very little baby.
Yeah, listen, I haven't got to see him, but I'm hoping she'll bring up a little picture by so that you guys can see him. So she'll be home with him through the end of the year. But we're going to go ahead and begin. This is session 10. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is session 11. 12.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we haven't gotten a good start, but let's try again. This is session 12. Session 10 I listened to and watched so that I would know the last thing that was presented to you by your teacher. And it was on phrasal verbs and clothing was the vocab. And then she canceled 11. And so this is 12. 12 is actually the midterm review session. And I'll be showing you the calendar in just a minute so you can take a look at see what's coming up. But can you believe you're halfway through the semester? Just another little section and you'll be finished with Spanish 2 and 3. How many of you are Spanish 2? All of it? And then one Spanish 3? Okay. Well, you're me.
Don't confuse her.
Okay. Yeah, don't confuse me today. Tomorrow, next time you can confuse me, but today. So your main focus today will be to review the information that's been presented to you so far so you can be ready for your midterm. Yes, you do. Okay. When you take a look at your calendar on PowerSpeak, you'll see that the focus is on studying for your midterms. I've included both this week and next week on your calendar so you could see what's coming up because the window for taking your test is actually this whole section, but primarily when you look at the calendar, you're going to see it. I'm going to see if I can use this. You're going to see it right down here. So it's April 16th and 17th. You'll see on your calendar there's different portions of the midterm scheduled on different dates. Okay. There's actually a window, though, your teacher said, so you can access it on other dates as well. As long as you're prepared, be sure to be ready when you go in there. Okay, go up here. Okay, I recommend that you use ClassConnect to study for your test, as well as the notes and lessons that you got. Because as I was reviewing, coming new in as a sub, I noticed that if you review those, you're going to get a nice review of all the things that you're going to see on the test. I feel that it will prepare you well, along with any notes that you have. Okay, so here's your essential question that you see every time. If you're here in person, then it's automatic 10 points for the essential question by signing into my sign-in sheet. If you're at home or you view this video, then you need to submit the answers to the essential question by Friday. And the essential question this week is, after going over this midterm review, what areas of study do you need to go back and review to be prepared? So go through it with me, do the best you can with it, but then take note, oh, you know, I better go over and take a look at future tense again, or whatever it is that you seem weaker on. So kind of use it as a self-assessment. Okay, so let's get going. There are 4 parts to your midterm. I've seen your midterm and noticed that there were 4 parts. We're primarily going to review the vocabulary and grammar today, though I'm going to give you a sample of what it might look like on the listening, reading, writing, and speaking sections as well. Okay, so here's our first vocabulary and grammar section midterm review question. This is typical of ones you'll see. Some will be multiple choice, some will be true and false. You've noticed that I have photocopied some of the slide presentation here for you. If you want to, then you'll just have a copy of those questions, and you can go over and highlight the answers and take any notes that you want to. So, first one, decide if the following sentence is grammatically correct or incorrect. And we'll talk about why that might be so, in case you're not sure. So here's the question. Tú veremos la película. Is that correct or incorrect? Any volunteers on that?
Correct.
It's correct. It's not correct. It's incorrect. Why is it incorrect? Veremos is future tense, but notice the ending. Hemos.
Is it not in the right gender?
No, it's that the conjugation is incorrect. So tú would not go with veremos.
Yeah.
Okay, it would be nosotros veremos la película. Okay, so they're using the second person pronoun with the first person conjugation of the verb. So that would be incorrect. Let me see if I can do this little doohickey here. I'm just having so much fun with these little tools, if I can do them right. So let's say it would be incorrect. Ooh. Okay. Yes. And then you can go back and review the future tense, and you'll be up to date with that. Okay, here's the second one on that section. Decide if the following sentence is grammatically correct or incorrect again. Yo iré contigo. Yo iré contigo. Anyone want to answer that? Anyone live? Pardon me? It is correct. The conjugation for future, the endings, I wish I could show you that on the whiteboard. I'm not sure how to type on this thing, but I would put those up there. This one?
Yeah.
Okay, I think with the accents and all, it would be more confusing for you than ever. So I'm just going to put it on the whiteboard really quick. And I know if you're at home you won't see this, but you can look up the future tense. This will help you though for the next few that we review, and then you'll be able to see why it's important. Okay, so endings for future tense are going to be hemos, veis, and accents are distinguishing for future tense. So, it added to your infinitive form of the verb, like say we're talking about bailar, to dance. If I want to say I will dance, I would say bailaré. Bailará, you will dance. Bailará, he will dance. Bailaremos, we will dance. Bailaréis, you plural will dance. And bailarán. So infinitive plus those endings in the correct person is what you'll need to know in order to complete these. So yo iré is correct. Okay, let's look at the next one. Again, here's the future tense. Choose the best translation of the following sentence. Okay, so this is a little twist on how to do it. I'm sorry.
You see at the check-in?
Right here?
Go down. There's just Austin and Daniel. Those are where
They're asking questions?
Yeah.
How do I click on?
Yeah.
Okay, Austin.
Oh, it is
He might have done sleep.
They're answering a question of what.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's how they do.
I know the question was.
Oh, he's answering it on his board. Awesome. Okay. Good job, guys. Thanks for learning with me. Thanks for teaching me as I'm teaching you. Sort of. Okay, so let's, back on the slide that we're on right now, the best translation, they will live in California. Okay, so we're looking for third person, plural, they. We're looking for the infinitive, vivir. Okay, what ending should that have then?
I feel like it should be, but I'm not sure. It's in future tense.
This is future again. Yeah. Look at the endings I have on the whiteboard if you're inside.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's a vivir, and then there's that ending on, and it says they up here. So it's the answer C, vivirán en California. Okay, the next one. Choose the correct answer to the question. ¿Contará Miguel el dinero? So in future, again, yes.
Are these some of the questions on the test?
These are similar to the questions on the test. Okay. ¿Contará Miguel el dinero? Okay, there's Miguel. He's third person singular. And there's contar, to count. So what ending should count have? Where's third person singular? Okay, it's correct there. So you would want to have that same form of the verb in your answer. The answer would be, you're correct. A, no lo contará. So if the question is contará, then the answer is going to be contará. That's one good way to remember it. Okay. The next one is choose the correct answer to the question. ¿Cómo lo explicarán ellos? Okay, so here we are conjugating it for you already. Ellos is they. Explicar, explain, and there's the correct ending. Explicarán. So if this is correct in the question, what should my answer be? Which?
Yeah.
Right, so which one of those would it be? Right. Lo explicarán. So, con cuidado. I'm going to try something new. Dang. I'm going to clear that. Get rid of my that. Now let me get fatter. Can you see that, or is that going to be too faint for you? Okay. All right, next one is, what does the underlined word mean in the following sentence? Necesitas cerrar la puerta. Here's some vocabulary for you. Cerrar. Who remembers what that word means? It does. And look how you could use the other words in the sentence for a clue. If you were like, oh my gosh, I can't remember cerrar. Does anyone know what puerta is? Puerta. Okay, so if you know some of the words, puerta is door. So if you knew puerta, the door, you'd have to say, okay, door, what can I do with a door? All right. And it couldn't be hide, the door, right? So yes, cerrar is to close. Next we go to, what does the underlined word mean in the following sentence? Similar to the one we just did. No quiero dormir.
Sweet.
Very good. So that answer would be B. Too sweet. And next, what does the underlined word mean in this sentence?
Colder.
Dame la carpeta.
Perfect.
Who gets carpet?
I mean,
And why is that not true?
because carpeta means folder and carpet, I think, means it's carpet and it is something else.
Right.
Written.
And what do they call that when you get tricked by a word that looks the same but it has a different meaning? Okay. I think it's 5. I think if you review the lessons and you go to 5, there's a lesson on false cognates. A cognate is a word in a word in each language that looks the same and means the same, but now this is a false cognate. So you're going to see false cognates on this test. So review that list of false cognates so you'll be ready. Dame la carpeta doesn't mean give me the carpet. It means give me the folder. It would be alfombra if it was carpet. Okay. Choose the correct future tense form of the verb in parentheses. So we have future again. Which one would it be? Ellos, what form of saber would we put in there?
I want to see T.
Okay. Here's ellos is this one here. Yo, tú, él, nosotros, vosotros, ellos. So it would be sabrán. Would be D, yes. Now, saber is an irregular stem. When it turns to future, instead of just saying saberán, they leave out the E, and it's just sabrán. There are a couple irregular stems for future, but normally you hold on to the infinitive. Decide if the following sentence is grammatically correct or incorrect. Mi hermano podrá ir a la escuela mañana. Podrá is another one of those. Poder is the normal infinitive, and they drop the E. Mi hermano podrá.
I'm going to say it's correct.
It is correct. Very good. Awesome. Choose the best translation of the following sentence. It won't fit. So it's it. It is the one we're conjugating. Look up here again. I have a guess for A. Look up here again. Do you know the pronoun that goes each? If you don't, that will eliminate you. So this would be I, you, he, she, or it. So he, she, or it, or person singular. B. It would be, yes, B. No cabra. Próxima, the next one. What does the underlined word mean in the following sentence? La luna es brillante. Who said?
No.
Very good. Moon. Luna is moon. You could be taking notes on your PowerPoint handout if you weren't sure on these. Luna is moon. And I won't write that because I'll learn that till next time. Next, what does the underlined word mean in the following sentence? La flor crece. Flor.
Is that part of our vocab?
It is. These are vocab words.
I've got this.
Do I have a guess? Austin, do you want to make a guess? He left. Daniel, do you want to make a guess?
Yeah, it's flower.
It is flower. Very good.
I thought there was more to the word, so yeah.
Very good. All right. Next page. Choose the best translation of this sentence. Tú, tú would see. Okay. You would see. Now we have another set of endings. We've been working with the future, and now we've changed the conditional. Okay. The conditional has the ia end, and when you have the second person singular, you're adding the little s there. So you're correct. I want to use your name, Stephanie. So Stephanie said verías, tú verías, and that's correct. So the endings for conditional are ia, ian, ia, íamos, íais, ían. Ask them again. And it means when something's a maybe, an if conditional. There's a big section on that on your review, so you'll want to practice that. What does the underlined word mean in the following sentence? And this is a vocabulary word. Compráramos recuerdos. This is yes, you're right. It's that false cognate thing again. It sounds like records or recorders, but it's souvenirs. Good job, Daniel. Okay, here are 3 sentences to decide if they're correct or not. We'll do them one at a time. Nosotros tendrían mucho dinero. We would have a lot of money. Let's look at that conjugation though. Nosotros, that's we. Tendrían, is that the correct conjugation for nosotros? The ian ending? Nosotros is the most. Right, so it should be nosotros tendríamos. So I'd have to say incorrect on this one. I'm going to put I here. Incorrect. Ella saldría con su madre. That's the second one. Saldría. Okay. Third person singular, that's correct. She will go out with her mom. And the last one, yo quería más.
Incorrect. What's
wrong with that? Couple things. What's one thing that's wrong with that? Can you pick it out? Well, the first thing is yo. Okay. Yo quería. Okay. The double R is the main thing that jumps right out at me. In Spanish, you never double a consonant to add an ending. That's an English thing. There's certain words in Spanish that already have a double consonant R, where it's a trill sound when you say it, but you don't do it to add an ending. That's an English thing. So that's the main error on there. So be incorrect. Here is the next review slide on grammar. Decide if the following sentence is correct or incorrect. Eres más inteligente que yo. All right, on this section, we're reviewing comparatives. I'd like to mention that if you do review the lessons that your teacher presented to you last time by going to Class Connect, you'll see that she's added a couple links into her slide presentations that have videos imported. And there's a couple really good ones in there I recommend for this section, particularly on comparatives. So Eres más inteligente que yo. You are more intelligent than I am. What's your guess on that one? How many people say correct? How many people say incorrect? No one's saying. Okay, so what's the rule on this? That's what we need to look at. There's two formulas for comparing in Spanish. The first is más que. And when you want to say something is better than or worse than, you can say más que or menos que. So this one says Marcos. No, it says you are more intelligent than I am. And that's the correct combination. The second one, let's look at that. Marcos es tan guapo que tú. Tan guapo que tú. Handsome. Handsome. So Marcos is more handsome than you.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, when you're comparing using tan or tanto, you don't use que, you use como.
Oh, so that would be wrong.
Yes. That would be incorrect then, because it should be Marcos es tan guapo como tú.
So the last one would be correct because it usually on and como.
Exactly. So remember these, jot those notes down if you don't have those. Más goes with que or menos que, and tan or tanto goes with como. So the third was son tan altos como nosotros, and that was correct. Okay, now here's, this next slide shows a couple of vocab words and highlighting the false cognate. Again, what does the word archival mean in this sentence?
File.
Ella copia el archivo.
File.
It does. Think of archive. If you're going to archive some of your electronic files, you don't say you're reading all your email and you want to save some of those emails, but they're not on your inbox screen. You're archiving them. You're putting them in an electronic file. You're putting them away. And then this one.
Folder.
Yeah, that's that one that we just talked about before. It's not carpet, it's folder. The folder does not have anything. La carpeta no contiene nada. Very good, Gina. No, right on top of it. Next one. What does the underlying word or phrase mean in the following sentence? Here's another technology word. Thank you. Hay que conectarse al servidor. Yes. To log in. Okay, we're getting towards the end of our vocab and grammar review. Choose the best translation of the following sentence. You can't have our money. What's the correct way to say that? Okay. Well, we're going to use the second person singular. Here's the ES form. No puedes. Okay, so we have the you can't part. Have our money. So what's the verb is the same, tener. So now we're over here. We have to line up our adjective with our noun for gender and number. Okay, so dinero, which one of these adjectives goes with dinero? Dinero Is there an S here?
No.
No, it ends in an O, and it's not plural, it's singular. So which one ends in an O? Oh, very good. Nuestro dinero. Very good. If I do this, does that highlight it for you, or does that erase it for you? Oh, awesome. Boy, I'll be a pro by next time. Maybe not. Okay. What does the underlined word or phrase mean in the following sentence? Onza, libra, gramo y kilogramo son unidades de peso. Who said weight? Very good. Yes. Libra is what?
Is it a measurement?
It's a measurement, yeah. Liter? Oh, pounds. Libra is pound. Gram, kilogram, they're all weight. Okay, last grammar sample coming up. Choose the best translation of the following sentence. Give me that paper. Now here's those demonstrative adjectives. Review those.
B.
Why would it be B instead of A?
Yeah.
Okay, because papel is masculine. El papel, it's not la papel. So then whatever adjective goes with it has to be masculine. Esta would be feminine because it ends in A, so it would have to be la papel to be esta. If it's el papel, so it would be dame ese papel. Give me that paper. The other way you could have thought about it was which of them means this and which of them means that. With the consonant T in there, that's close by. And take out the T and it's over there. But not way over there, that's the case, right? Okay. All right, so the next section that you'll have on your midterm is a listening sample. And you'll be recording this for me to grade when you take the listening part of your test. In the listening part of your test, you're going to press a button and you're going to listen to something, and then you're going to have an answer some questions about it to see if you understood it or not. I'm going to give you this sample, a simple sample, by speaking to you, a very short couple sentences, and then you tell me the answer to this question. Who is the blouse for? Okay? So here's your choices. When you're actually taking the test, you would just bubble in your answer. But here's our answers before I give you the sample. Su mamá, su papá, un hermano, or una hermana. So those are family members, right? What do those four mean?
Mom, dad, sister.
Okay, brother and sister. All right, so here is my sample. Listen well. I'll say it 2 times so you can repeat it. And actually on your test it's going to be a little longer than this. Mira, mamá, yo te compré esta blusa. A mí me gustan mucho a los flores azules que tiene. ¿A ti no?
B.
I want to say
No.
It's not the dad.
I want to be the hipster that's helping the dad.
Okay, okay, so you have your answers, and Daniel on here says mama. I'm going to say it one more time so you can listen and think about, as you're translating, who is the blouse for? Okay, here we go. Okay, so you have to think who's speaking, who are they speaking to? Right. Here we go. Mira, mamá, yo te compré esta blusa. A mí me gusta mucho a los flores azules que tiene. A ti, no? Can anyone raise their hand and tell me what I said or what you heard?
And
It had to do with the mom. Nothing was else was
I
not.
believe this one, but it's saying, thank you, Mom, for my good.
Okay. So, mira, mamá, yo te compré esta blusa. Look, Mom, I bought you this blouse. A mí me gusta mucho a los flores azules que tiene. I really like the bright blue flowers that it has. A ti, no? Don't you? Okay. So, a lot of, I'd just like to say something about Spanish 2 and Spanish 3. In our culture here, I believe that the hardest part for learning a second language is the listening, speaking part, because it's the part we do the least of. We try a lot of times to learn a second language by the same way we learn math, by looking at it and figuring it out and memorizing. But languages are meant to be spoken. People speak languages that can't even read and write. So it typically is weaker in older students that are learning a second language because they tend to practice the reading, writing part and don't practice the listening and speaking. So in order to do well in this section, well, I have a suggestion. Start listening to Spanish a lot more. And one way you can do that, a kind of painless way, is to get out a video that you have, Lion King. One of those videos that you've seen it a few times. And go on into it. If you have it on a DVD, go on into it and choose the language section. And you'll notice that a lot of times it's translated. And then play it to yourself, watch it even in the background, or listen to it in Spanish, and you'll start to recognize the words. You'll start to recognize the word patterns, and you'll start to get your ear accustomed to those sounds, and more you'll be able to understand. Here's the next sample, your midterm reading sample. This is something like what your reading your reading test will look like. You'll have a section to read, and then you'll have a question to answer or several questions to answer. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you, and then you try to follow along and then answer true or false. Do I have any volunteers who would like to read it? Or would you rather have me go ahead and read it? It comes out on audio. I'll go ahead and do it just because of Daniel, who's home listening. Okay, so here we go. Follow along with me though, so you can hear the sounds of the language, and so that you can try to understand it, because it's all in Spanish, right? So you have to be translating as you go. All right. So here's the question in English. After you read the conversation, decide if this is true or false. Saul, really in Spanish, wants to be a professor. Okay? Does he or doesn't he?
Yes.
Here we go. Rosa, Saúl, ¿qué quieres ser en el futuro? Saúl, quiero ser abogado. Me gusta estudiar las clases de ciencias políticas. Rosa, a mí no me gustan esas clases. Prefiero las clases de inglés y español. Saúl, entonces puedes ser maestra de español. Rosa, sí. ¿Qué otra carrera te gustaría estudiar? Saúl, quizás podría ser arquitecto. Me gustan construir cosas y diseñarlas. Rosa, yo podría ser enfermera. Me gusta trabajar con la gente y ayudarla. Okay, so Rosa and Saúl talking about what they want to be. Is it true? Is it true that Sal wants to be a professor?
I want to be
He wants to be a lawyer or something. Or something. Lawyer.
Oh, no, false.
Architect.
Exactly. Who got that? That was you. Perfect. He says, here he is, Saul. He's saying, quiero ser abogado. That's a lawyer. Wants to study political science. Very good. And then down here, she asks him again, and he says, quizás podría ser arquitecto. Perhaps I would be an architect because I like to build things and design them. Do you see there's some, pick up those coordinates. Diseñar, design. Construir is construct or build. Use those clues when you're not sure about what a word means. So the answer on that one would be false. He does not want to be. All right. Here's a writing and speaking sample. We're going to do this together. Time. Okay. We are going to practice this. Those of you that are live now, I'm not going to record you on this presentation, but it's really important for you to do this, and I'm going to have you partner up. So you two are going to partner up, and you two are going to be partners. And this is what you're going to just do the best you can. You need a piece of scratch paper if you have one, or you can use the back of your slideshow presentation. And this is what we're going to do. I'll read it from the slide, and then I'll explain it. It says, on your midterm, there are examples they're test questions that are for writing and then for speaking. The speaking one, you're going to need to record yourself, and then I will listen to that and give you a grade. The writing part, you're going to need to submit and also have that graded. And here's one question for each type. Okay, we're going to use the same question for both the speaking and the writing for this sample, though on your real test it won't be the same. So here's the question. Using 4 or 5 sentences, describe the room you are in right now. So look around. What objects do you see around you that you can remember the name of in English? In Spanish, I'm sorry, don't leave English. Okay, do you know your classroom vocabulary? Okay, so you're going to make up 4 or 5 sentences. That means, in the case of the test, that means 4 or 5 verbs. So we want complete sentences. We want subject, verb, object, at least. So let me give you an example of something you could say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yo veo 5 puertas.
Are you talking about walls?
Yo veo 5 puertas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what I'm saying? I'm describing the room I'm in right now. I see, there's my simple subject and verb, 5 doors. What else could I say?
There's like tons of computers.
Okay, you could use computer. What else could you say you see that you know how to say in Spanish? I see windows.
I don't know how to say that.
I see a chalkboard. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to write, and then I'm going to have you speak your answer to your partner and have them speak their answer to you. Okay, so the writing part would have 1 grade on your test, and then the speaking part would have another grade on your test. So the test has 4 components. Okay, I'm going to pause. And Daniel, what about you? Can you look around the room that you're at and come up with 4 or 5 sentences describing that room you're in? You see students. Okay, but what we're looking for are If you're in your bedroom, can you name items like bed, dresser? If you're in the kitchen, I'm not sure where you are in the living room. Try to recall that vocabulary, and then you can use, you could use present tense of verbs or past. Past would more describe something, an action that you did, so maybe you could use simple present for this one. Since this is a Spanish 2 and 3 test, you may be asked a question such as this that would require you to use the tenses of the verbs that you've learned. This is a midterm, so they're going to target the items, the vocabulary and grammar items that you've just been learning during this part of the semester. So bear that in mind when you're studying.
And jelly beans. And those jelly beans, correct?
They will be at the end, yeah.
Oh,
You guys need to read the K memo next time.
You have about 1 minute out there to finish
I'm
writing your 4 or 5 sentences. You're finished? How about the rest of you? You still need your minute? Okay.
I'm not writing each other.
Okay.
I'm so used to getting the words.
They're not coming right away, yeah. That's fine.
You usually take me.
Yeah. And when you're taking, this is just for practice, but when you're actually taking the test, I believe you can pause. Yeah. But you can actually.
One of my speaking ones, I sit down and write everything when you say that.
That's what I did.
Oh, really?
I just used to translator.
So you're lucky that you can do that. If you're in the home environment, you can do that. But that's kind of a little bit.
No, I got mine's like problem.
I discourage you from using a translator. I really do, especially at this level. Yeah, I discourage you because for a test like this and for Spanish right now at your level, because they're testing you on things that you're learning. They're not asking you to come up with something to say. Say if you were in, a foreign country and you're traveling around, oh my gosh, I need my dictionary. How do I say that? I need to go to the bathroom or whatever. But right now they're testing you on a list of vocabulary words and verb tenses that you just learned. Go back and get out those notes.
It enables us to forget.
We're a lot of these.
Yeah, yeah. And
It makes it hard.
also, it's not always accurate. And you're going, oh, I'll just look it up, kind of. So you're kind of sabotaging, I think, your own progress. Yes, sir. On any test? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to.
Similar concept.
Okay. Well, okay. Okay, here's Daniel. He's got a few responses. He's looking around himself. What is he seeing?
Well, he is seeing his rooms, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it your bedroom?
They're asking if this is your bedroom. Can you enter on chat? So he says, veo un reloj. What's un reloj?
Laundry.
Reloj.
Where's that?
No, he says, no, it's not my bedroom.
Is it your work area, your workspace?
It's your office. Very good. Thank you. I see that you have un equipo. Equipo, that's a team. Is that what you're saying? You have You see a team? Oh, maybe you have a poster of the angels or something on your wall? Is that what it is? Okay. Veo un negro silla. Una silla negra. Veo una silla negra. I see a black chair. Okay. Remember, a lot of times your adjectives in Spanish come after your noun. Una silla negra. Una empresadora negra. Remember also that the gender of the noun and the adjective match. So if it's silla ending in A, it's feminine, and then you want to say una negra, una silla negra, una impresora negra. Okay. All right. Raise your hand to read your sentence or two. Read me what you have, even if you don't have.
In English.
Well, I want someone in Spanish who's willing to do it. Yes? Okay, good. Thank you. Tyler. Thank you, Tyler.
Yo veo azul completa. Yo veo las papeles
Okay.
Los negros se disponen en la parte. También veo los negros en el color.
Very good. Thank you for volunteering. Who else? Come on, buddy. Will you read me a sentence or two? Okay, would you like to tell it to me in English and I'll translate it for you?
Classroom filled with books.
Okay.
Right there.
Estoy.
And then there's 5 doors.
Okay.
There's a lot of computers.
Okay.
There are students in the class.
Okay.
And there's a whiteboard.
Okay.
I see a laptop.
Okay.
And I see
Okay. Jelly beans. Okay. Dulces. Dulces are candies.
was that in your book?
Probably, I don't know. But remember one little item to remember, that you can see up here what Daniel wrote, and it sounds like your examples are along the same lines as what Daniel has here. Remember, he has yo veo, which means I see. That's already the subject and the verb, so that's an easy way to make the subject and the verb, I see. But whatever item you choose, remember that it has to match in gender and number with the adjective. So, yo veo una silla. Silla ends in A, so it has to be una silla. And then the color, negra. So, remember to line those up when you're going over and doing the writing. You have time to proofread, so do that. All right, so now after the written part, then you have the oral part. Please speak clearly into the microphone when you're doing your oral part for me, so I can hear all the little words that you want to say, and so that you can get the highest possible score on that.
Are you going to grade it like 10?
I'm going to use a grading scale your teacher gave me. She's giving me a lot of input, and I'm allowed to send her some samples to review if I have a problem with it. I'm going to try to leave her alone, though, so she can be with her baby and not have it. So, okay, so we're on to the last slide. We're about to close up here. And don't forget, if you're at home, that's you, Daniel, or anyone who's viewing this later on, that you need to submit the answer to essential questions for 10 points. And remember, this is what it was. After going over this midterm review session, what areas of study do you need to go back and review to prepare well for your midterm? So how about for my audience here, tell me one item that you think you should review to be ready for this test. Okay. Okay, how about the vocabulary and grammar section? Were there any items, like any particular categories of vocab? False cognate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to work on phrasal verbs and just memory and vocabulary.
Okay. And the future tense, remember, and conditional are on there, phrasal verbs also, and your comparative. Okay, so I want you to study, do well. Don't forget, there are office hours here. I'll be in here in the mornings if you'd like to come and set up some kind of little study schedule. I can help you with that. I want to see you do well. Okay, Spanish 2 and 3 students. You're on the road. You're on the road to becoming bilingual, right? That's awesome. I'm proud of you. So keep up the good work. And I'm going to be signing off now. If you have any questions and you're not in person, go ahead and drop a K-mail in there, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And so thank you. And this is Daniel signing off. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.